Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is
Pat McDonald, and we're here for a live Q&A.
and we're almost on time, I think.
Pretty close.
Pretty
We're
close.
a minute late.
We're a minute late, and I'm not in a wild panic like I normally am.
No, it was just very, I can't think of the word.
Anticlimactic. Normally I'm just beside myself, and I'm feeling pretty good. So thank you for joining us for another live Q&A. We're gonna look at a game. We're gonna learn how to play a game. We're gonna play it, some portion of it. We're gonna answer some of your questions. We have some that we already received from our guild on Board Game Geek. And if you'd like to ask questions during this live show, you can by, what do we like to tell them to do?
Put question in all caps.
Yes.
Use fancy colors if you know how. And you can even have the entire question itself in all caps. As long as there's caps, we'll know that it's a question.
Wow.
But if there's no caps, we might not notice it, we might not read it. So.
The word question, definitely put that in caps.
Yeah.
If the rest of it isn't in caps, that's fine. But if you can figure out how to make colors.
If you can make colors, that'd be really helpful.
Go crazy. We also have a contest draw to give away. Actually, why don't we just do the contest now? Let's just do that now.
You want to tell them what the contest's for?
Yeah, the contest, we actually already held the contest, so this will be a little anticlimactic if you're watching and didn't see this. But in one of our news and updates videos, we had one talking about helping support Board Game Geek during their support drive. And I was going to give away a copy of Blitzbowl. You didn't have to donate or anything like that, but this is it. Blitzbowl, brand new, still in shrink. And from all the people who submitted entries, we're going to draw a winner. Now, the problem is you won't be able to see it very well from there. So let me see if I can do this.
Spoilers.
Is that a little better? Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're seeing the questions, you're seeing the game we're going to play. Here we go.
Can I press the button?
Okay, go ahead. You press the button.
Okay.
Right there in the center, just once.
Bunk.
All right, and we're going to get a winner, which you might not be able to see. There's a bit of a glare there. But we have Eduardo Ferrer. Eduardo is our winner of
Blitzbowl. I almost said Blood Bowl.
Well, it does come from that game, so there you go. It's like a little streamlined version of. We have a tutorial video for this as well. And Eduardo, I'll reach out to you with an email and get your mailing address. We'll get that out to you as soon as possible. But why don't we, before we go any further, just take a look at the chat, just in case we're getting some feedback about how...
About feedback,
about how we sound.
Like, oh, it's really staticky or loud.
Yes. A bit more gain volume, please. Oh, okay, so maybe... Well, it's difficult. We'll just take a few seconds on audio check, because you might have your mics, your volume turned down, somebody else might have it turned way up. Can we just get a few people to say whether or not the volume needs to go up or down? Just let us know.
Yeah. Let's answer some questions while we wait.
I don't think we have any questions yet. So.
I saw one.
Did you see one?
Yeah, but they didn't put the word question. They just had a question mark. Do either of us paint miniatures? Games Off the Shelf wants to know.
Oh, well, I have painted some miniatures recently. I can go get them. I'm noticing the stream quality is saying it's not great right now.
Yeah.
I have found this problem crops up more in the YouTube streams than it does in the Twitch streams for whatever reason. So if you're noticing it breaking up for some reason, it's a little bit out of our control, but hopefully it gets better. But I'll be right back with some miniatures while you carry on chatting.
Okay. Is it looking at the table right now or our face?
It should be looking at our faces. I
just want to make sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Well, I'll talk about my experience with miniatures while
do that.
While Rodney goes to get his. So I don't paint a lot. I've painted a few times, just little things here and there. I don't have my miniature here. Although, funny enough, Rodney, one of the miniatures you're probably about to get, I actually painted one that looks almost exactly like it to the point where, yeah, I thought that was mine at first.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. But it wasn't. It wasn't mine. I should have brought mine if I had thought about it. I wish we could read everyone's minds to know the questions that they were going to ask ahead of time.
That would be handy, because then you could have brought it in advance, yes. Yeah. Well, look, this is a really cool gift that Pat gave me, this little case. And I think you had an idea in mind for how this could be used when you gave it to me.
Yeah, I was thinking of it to hold decks, because it had the little separator, so I thought it would have decks. And it's actually a bread box. So you could hold bread.
I don't understand. Look, let me just get the miniatures out of here. I think it's a great little miniatures case. So I got my miniatures in here. We'll take a look at those a little closer in a second. But I don't understand this as a bread box, because this must be for, like, really tiny people.
Maybe bagels?
Like, this is... That's not like a whole loaf of bread. Could you put a slice in there? Like, in that way?
Why don't we find out?
All right, I'll be right back.
This is perfect.
Carry on.
We'll look at some of these miniatures while he's gone, though. These miniatures that Rodney painted. Woohoo! Let me just switch to the table. Oh. Okay, that's actually not zoomed in enough for me to really but they're very well. They're very lovely. They're very well done. Let's go back to the head job. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've only painted a couple miniatures. I painted one that looks just like this guy, except different. I painted different colors. I didn't go with the color scheme that you're supposed to do for these. I went with like a red and gold. Oh, there's the bread.
Okay.
I actually think this might work.
We're going to be very delicate with the bread because it's going to create some crummies.
That's true.
This is our work table. Okay, so
I have the bread.
you have the bread. So you... Okay. Let's just mush it in there a little bit, bend it a little bit, and it's almost a perfect fit.
Clearly, this isn't made for bread.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, maybe if you folded it slightly. Look, if it was like maybe one piece per section. Maybe?
Maybe bagels? Do you have any bagels we could test this
I
on?
don't have any bagels, but bagels tend to be a little bigger too. Okay. Okay, you eat the bread. Oh, we got crumbs everywhere now. Ugh. We're going to be infested with mice here in the Watch Play Studios. Yeah, so these are the miniatures that I paint up. And these, I won't belabor this, but I started these a little over a year and a half ago, got them started, and then took a long extended break. And so just around over the Christmas holidays and that, I finally finished this batch off. And it kind of inspired me to paint one more. So I have another one on the go here. This is a reverse. So he's got like a skull for a face, which is kind of neat. And unfortunately, I can't really show it to you up close because the cameras aren't going to auto focus on them.
I like his sword.
Yeah, he's got a little sword there as well. So I've had fun sort of dipping a toe back into painting a little bit. It's not something I would say I have enough time to dedicate, to a big project, like trying to paint up a whole army. But doing a few models like this, there's a game called Kill Team, and you only need about as many models as I've painted here, and you can play. So that's about the pace I can do. All right.
I like my models pre-painted.
That's not so bad.
But Rodney gave me a
Yes.
miniature painting starter kit kind of thing, so
Right.
I'm gonna.
Has a brush. It has a few pots of paint.
It does have a brush.
And it
I was
has-
gonna add. I wasn't sure if it had a brush or
It
not.
does. Yeah,
That's
it comes
good.
with one brush, and it comes with like 4 or 5 little models from the Age of Sigmar.
They're
set.
the haunts. What are they called?
Oh my gosh, Night Haunts.
Night Haunts,
Night Haunts.
yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I'm actually about to start a D&D campaign that's going to be focused in Ravenloft.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be really fitting. I'll paint those up and they'll be like
That's kind of my hope.
a
Is that
ghost team.
whether you play it in Age of Sigmar or not, hopefully they're models that you could just use in something else if you wanted to. So we got another question here from William. Let's throw down with another question. Why don't we? Let me just make sure.
There's one above William too.
And thank you everyone who reported in on the audio. Good, fine. Thank you, Joel. Thank you for that. Someone said you're breaking up. I don't know. A nice shirt. Thank you, Jessica. Okay, so Kevin asked a question, but he forgot to put question in all caps. So we'll just go. If anyone who joined us a little late, if you have a question to ask, put question in all caps before your question. It just helps us pick them out of all the rest of the comments.
Shame.
Well, he might have missed the intro.
Shame.
He might have missed the intro.
It's possible.
Okay, so Jessica has a question here. Do you guys talk about your shirts and solid ties before streaming? We didn't talk about it this time.
No, I just wore it.
You came prepared, and
Yeah.
I switched into mine just before we got started here. So, no, this is planned for the live stream. Will we always wear this exact thing? I don't know. Maybe we will. Apparently we will. Okay. So, we have a question here from William Boutel, who asks, "Do you watch YouTube in your free time, and if so, who do you recommend?" So, do you watch YouTube in your free time, Pal?
I do.
Okay. Well, do you have a couple of recommendations you can make?
I'm chewing right now.
I know you are, but I have to go look up who I'm subscribed to.
I got a couple people I watched recently.
Yes.
Not board game related, so sorry ahead of time.
Yeah.
There's one Fact Fiend.
Yes.
It's a British gentleman who he basically films with his editor partner in the basement. I was telling you about this guy. And it's basically just little facts. Like, have you ever watched those top 10 lists? He actually writes a lot of those top 10 lists that other people do.
Oh, okay.
And so he does his own show where he actually drinks. He drinks while he does it a lot of times. So as the video goes on, it gets progressively sloppier.
Okay.
And apparently his editor loves him because what he'll do is he'll occasionally just be like, can you put a pony with, like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's head, like, and lightning striking it? And his editor just does it.
On the fly?
No, well, I wouldn't know. I think he does it after the fact. That's how editing works.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
You got one?
Well, look, I do have a fair number of board game related channels that I follow. Look, Joel's in the chat, so I definitely watch Drive Through Games. I'm seeing here Jamie's doing his top 10 right now, so or top 50, I should say. So he's shown up in here. I'm subscribed to the Warhammer TV channel, and that's where they go over a lot of the different miniatures that they're releasing, games they're releasing, and also some painting tutorials, which I've used in the past to sort of guide me. Board Game Geek's YouTube channel, I follow that. Game Night just put up a Spirit Island full playthrough. So yeah, but outside of board gaming stuff, I watched Casey Neistat, who has a fantastic vlog, Jocko Willink. Who else? Oh, you know what? I started watching these YouTube videos recently of flight simulators. So people are playing, people playing flight simulators, and this one guy who actually I believe is a pilot in real life. So he knows all the call signs, he knows all the proper lingo, and he goes into these simulators where some of the players are trying to play a very realistic game. Some of them are more novice than others. Yeah, exactly. And he comes in there and he squawks at them in proper lingo at like high pace, but very deadpan. And it can be very comical, because as people are doing wacky and crazy things, he's reacting to it the way you would almost hope that a rational person who knows what's going on would do.
Tango 199, you are clear for landing over on runway 2. Please begin your descent at 43 clicks.
Except he's doing it way faster, and with like all the call signs. And then when someone like crash bombs into the airport, he just reports on that. Okay, we've just lost another 250 souls. We're gonna need someone out of the driveway to clean that up. And then sometimes he also gets ridiculous as well and gets a little silly. But it's funny. I wish I could tell you the name of the channel, but I can't.
Speaking of which, there's another channel you reminded me of that I watch a little bit now. It's Think Like a Lawyer, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. But essentially what he does is he looks at law TV shows, and he's a real lawyer. Right. And so he looks at them and judges them based on what a real lawyer was, how authentic they are. What he really does is checks to see how often they'd be disbarred. Like, he recently just put out one on the first 2 episodes of Suits. Okay. And so he's just basically going through, it's like, this is embezzlement, this is blackmail, like, you'd get disbarred for that.
10 minutes into the show, it should be canceled.
No, yeah, basically.
Be fired. And
okay. It starts up very quickly. It's like, like, this show should end right now. They should just both be in jail.
I would watch that. That sounds funny.
It's pretty entertaining. The other one I want to mention is Because Science.
Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, Because Science with Kyle Hill. I think it's Kyle Hill. It's basically like nerdy science things. Like the most recent one he did was how you would fight a velociraptor. But he does stuff like can Superman hold the sun in his hands? Okay. And like he's very intelligent, so he'll actually go through all the math.
Fictional facts.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
Okay. So Jackie asks, "Did you bring enough to share?" No, just have a cup for each of us.
Oh, I thought she meant the bread.
Oh, the bread. Could be. Definitely not enough of that. Sorry. There might be a heel left over here. All right, so let's see here. William also asks, have you guys checked out either of the Firefly board games? I haven't. I mean, when the Firefly board game came out, the first one that I remember seeing, the big board game, I mean, I checked it out in the sense that I looked at it, but I never got into it at all.
Same here.
Same? Yeah. Okay. And let's just... I didn't expect to jump into your questions so quickly, but you guys are right on the ball here.
Someone had a question a while back I saw. They wanted to know if I had Stellas before.
Oh, yes, you're right. I did see that, and I missed it. So someone asked if you'd had Stella's. Do you know what he's referring to?
I have. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, not the food truck. I had the actual restaurant.
No, the food truck, though. Have you had the food truck?
No, I haven't had the food. I just assume it's the same.
Might be.
But I've had Stella's itself. It's very decent quality food for low prices. It's nice.
I was in the vlog. There's been 2 episodes where I've tried to go to Stella's, and it's been closed every time.
It's been closed, yeah.
So
I've only ever seen it open once. I think
it's open 4 days. No, it's open every day except for Monday.
How did you miss it then?
I went on a Monday.
Oh.
And I went after they were closed in the evening. So I keep missing
funny.
it.
Our Chinese food restaurant here is also closed on Mondays. Or they're not closed, but they're only open from like noon to 2
time?
Or something like that. Yeah.
Well, look, Montague is a small town, so like business is not always booming all the time. That's so that's probably part of it. Now, did I get to Stella's this week? Maybe. To watch the next vlog and find out. The vlog's over on the Rodney J. Smith channel. All right. So let's see what our next question is here. So Soul Rays Emmett has a suggestion in all caps. We didn't have rules for suggestions, but we'll let this one slide
we'll
by.
Have to read it.
You can have your own emoticons. It'd be easy. Oh, right. You can have your own emoticons. Would be easier to identify questions. Yes, that's right, Soul Rays. And I have thought about that, and I thought it'd be really cool. We could use the little figures from the logo as little emoticons in our chat.
That's cute.
You know what I mean?
And that could even kind of show if it's a question, who the question's for. Like
Potentially.
Blue and
Yeah,
Goofy,
could
right?
be.
Or
Yeah.
if you put both, it's a question for both of us.
Yeah, no, you're
That's
giving-
actually that's more complicated.
Thank you
than
for all
it
the
needs
work.
to be, yeah.
Okay. But yes, I think that's a good idea, and we will look into that. So Thorindos asks, do you back board game Kickstarters often or at all?
Not recently. I used to back quite a few of them, but I haven't really backed anything recently. The most recent one was both the Zombicide Invader and Green Horde, but that's just because I wanted the minis, and it was a really good price for that amount of minis.
Yeah. Perhaps always looking for ways you can take miniatures from games and put them in your role-playing games, I think, right?
Yeah.
I haven't backed a lot lately. I backed more in the past. Like, go back 2 years ago, I was probably backing with more frequency. I have a little, I don't know, I guess more patience now or something. Like, I'll wait till it's coming out at retail, and I might miss some of the Kickstarter specials or whatever, but it has to be something quite unique for me to feel like I must back a Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've been burned a couple times on, not board game Kickstarters, but other things. We're still both waiting for Sabertron. I have a 3D printing pen that I'm waiting for that I don't think I'm ever going to get. And a serious shower head that might actually be in the mail right now. I just haven't checked my mail in a week and a half. I just don't do that.
I have a spinning top. One of those spinning tops that like spins forever.
Oh, I was looking at that, yeah.
I'm waiting on that. And I have a couple of board games. I have a solo board game. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, unfortunately, and I don't have Kickstarter set up here to check for. But I have like one, maybe two Kickstarters that are board game related that I'm waiting on. But I'm not as frantic about it as I used to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean there's lots of great Kickstarter games out there. It's just not. That's not that tickles my fancy these days. Okay. There, listen, before we answer another question.
Let's answer some of the questions from the BGG Guild.
Let's do that. And then we'll take a little break, and I'll show you the game Push. You haven't played Push, have you? Good, I'm interested in showing you.
I own it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we have a question here from Anne Reynolds, who asks, what are each of your favorite game mechanisms? So do you have a favorite game mechanism?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. Do you want me to try to get an answer?
You go first if you can. It's a hard one.
It's a tricky one. Like mechanisms. I like games where you have multi-use cards, where the cards do more than one thing. I like that. I tend to like area control games. So games like Kemet have area control, Godfather, Corleone's Empire, Blood Rage. Area control is something I've usually enjoyed. I'm looking at my collection over here. And
I do have. There is something that I definitely is my favorite mechanism. I can't think of it on the spot. I like deck building, but I think the favorite mechanism that really comes to mind is the I can't think of the term for it, but it's where like I choose an action, everyone takes it, but I get a better version.
Follow. Yeah. So like an eminent domain has that, right?
Yeah.
Someone does, or Glory to Rome. Yeah, that's a very.
I really like that one. Yeah.
Because that can really come down to timing. Because it's nice if you can do it when other people can't take advantage of it. You know, if you can time it for that.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're someone following, it's nice. Like, oh, I get to do something. I expected you would do that, so now I get to do the action as well.
Well, I always think it's a good mechanic in games too, because it means in theory you're always doing something. Because some games,
engaged in something.
Games like, oh, it's my turn. Okay, I do things. Then I wait for 3 turns. Now I do things again.
Right.
But in a game with the follow the leader mechanics, you are always doing something.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'll say then, to add to that, simultaneous actions. So like Seven Wonders, everyone's doing everything at the same time. The Quacks of Quinlan, which we did recently, everyone's doing generally everything at the same time. Lack of downtime is good in a game, I think, for the most part. So there's a couple. Now there's a follow-up here. It says, how much do you feel those preferences influence the games that get rules videos?
Oh.
Well, it's an interesting question. Then there's a last question. It says, is there a set of criteria you generally use to decide which games get rules video? Yes. And we've talked about it on the live shows probably so many times, I won't go through it all again. But it's something I probably need to do an updated FAQ video for.
An updated FAQ wouldn't be a bad idea in general. Yeah, it's been a while, I think.
It's been a little while. I could probably go back through, find the popular ones from the old one, add in some new ones, and do it, just so that people who are curious about it get an answer to those questions. But I don't know that my preferences weigh too strongly in the... I mean, my preferences are what guide everything, but my favorite mechanisms, I don't know that I'm consciously thinking about that.
I'm, as an outside observer, I'm going to say no. Like, if I think of the games you do based on what I think are the mechanisms you enjoy, I don't think they're related.
Like, I'll do a Mansions of Madness or a Kemet game, which I think people think I like,
Yeah.
and I do. But that's not what we do all the time on here.
Yeah,
those
no.
kind of games, right? So I think I've said before, I'm a bit of a cult of the new player. I like new things, and I like checking out new things. And I also think of myself as a bit of an omni gamer, so I enjoy stuff that sometimes is out of my wheelhouse. Like, I want to try it because it's not something I've done before. Yeah. All right.
Next up,
sure.
Lance Simpson wants to know, do either of us have any book recommendations? And are we more interested in fiction or nonfiction?
Or he'd be interested, yeah. Okay.
Oh, would be interested in both
Yeah.
fiction. Oh, yes.
I've vlogged this book already before on my personal channel, but I'll mention it again here. Jocko Willink has a book called Discipline Equals Freedom, and I really like that as giving some guidelines for how to like kind of tighten up your life and your schedules and how you use your time and exercise, eating good, all that. Oh, very simple. There's no magic to it. It's all straightforward stuff that everyone knows. But it's nicely condensed in a small, easy to read book, and I like that a lot. And he has some other books about business and things that are quite good. That's a nonfiction. What about you?
My nonfiction would be Board Games That Tell Stories by Ignacy Chipka.
Yes, yeah, that was a really good book.
It was a really good book.
Lots
he had
of,
two of them.
Yeah, he had two of them.
Yeah.
Lots of good stories in there about his design process and things he likes about his own philosophies about games. And
It's almost like sitting down and talking to someone about like them designing games, and not just them designing games, but them playing games and them. Yeah, so
and he's a funny,
really interesting.
he's a funny writer too, right?
Yeah.
He's quite comical. He makes jokes about himself as much as the process, and really good. Fiction books.
That one's gonna be harder. I know mine is
gonna be. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I really like Stephen King in general, but one of my favorite Stephen King books is The Stand. It's a bit of a longer book, but it's essentially similar to The Leftovers. Do you remember? Oh, no, it's not. So there's basically a disease that plagues 99% of the world's population. And so the 1% that are left are immune to the disease. And then it's not necessarily like a zombie survival thing. It's actually more about the people and what the people do when they're the only people left.
Right.
And you know what side they'll take, what they'll do, kind of thing. It's not what you might expect, like, oh, we're gonna run around Walking Dead slaying zombies kind of thing. No, it's more about the people and
which is it's kind of like the best parts I think of zombie stories is that the zombies kind of fall in the backdrop and it's the psychology of the people who are left trying to survive, right? I think if I was gonna pick a fiction book that I can pull off, from my brain that I remember reading, The Martian. I really like The Martian as a book.
I've never read it. I've seen the movie, but I never read the book.
And I think the movie was very good, but I think the book was excellent, like really, really good. So, and it was I found it to be a very quick read and very witty, very smart. So that would be my recommendation, The Martian. Why don't we do one more question over here, because everyone's being very patient and they've asked a whole bunch of questions, which we will try to go back and catch everyone's questions here. Let me see what I've got here. Sorry, there's a bunch of questions. I'm just trying to get back to where we were last time.
People ask them again if they need to. Okay,
so David L. asks, Rodney, how do you manage your time? You always seem to be producing wonderful content, but how do you keep motivated? I don't know. I'm not sure there's a magic to this either. I just really enjoy what I'm doing, which helps quite a bit. So I don't want to say it isn't work, but it's work that I find fulfilling. So it keeps me motivated. When I finish one tutorial video, I'm ready to jump right into the next one. When I finish that one, I'm ready to jump into the next one. It's a treadmill I don't mind running constantly, I guess. So fortunate position to be in, I guess, that I'm doing what I want to be doing. When I worked like outside of this job, when I had a regular 9-to-5 job, I was motivated to go to work most days, but not always, for sure. Yeah. I don't know, it's different here. Like,
that's actually something I feel like we don't talk, because this kind of question has come up before, but yeah, I mean, are there some mornings that you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to film a tutorial today? Like, because I know with regular work, like you say 9 to 5, sometimes you wake up and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this.
I think the only time I ever feel that way is when I feel the crunch. When I've overbooked myself and the treadmill's going just a little faster than I find manageable.
Film 3 tutorials in a week or something.
Right. It's not so much that I don't feel motivated. I feel like the pace is not as healthy or sustainable as it could be, and I know it's not. So I'm trying to get past it. So I'm not in the moment able to, I don't know, enjoy is not the word I'm looking for, because work doesn't need to be enjoyable. But it's just, it's sort of feeling like the schedule is beyond my complete control. I don't like that. I don't like the feeling like, gosh, if we don't get this done, today, then tomorrow we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And then we really have to knuckle down. And like, so I don't like that. I like things to be like kind of just barely frantic, but not too frantic. And I wake up every morning at 4:30 in the morning. That helps too. That's a recent change, which I found has helped me get a hold of my schedule a little better, because in the morning no one else is awake and it's very quiet and I can get a lot done. Okay, so Jackie asks a question. Rodney, have you ever played Dead of Winter and played your character?
Oh.
Believe it or not, I have not. Hold on. Wait, did I? And I forgot. Oh,
Maybe did you do at a convention
there was
or something?
yes, I think I did at a convention. But just once. Just once. And I've meant to do it before. Rich Summer and I joked that we should get together and have the most narcissistic game of Dead of Winter ever. He would play his character, I'd play my character. We'd find everyone who had promo characters and get them in that game.
Yeah.
But we haven't done that yet. Probably for the best. Dutch Yoda would like to know, Pep, will you visit Essenspiel within the next few years?
I don't know, Rodney.
Yeah, it is a question. That's the thing. I often get asked questions like, are you going to be at this convention or that convention? And I never like to say no, especially if I can tell the person would like to see me there. But it's always it's money. It's money and time. Especially flying from Canada, it's expensive, right? So I would go to a lot more conventions. Well, that's true and it's not true.
Yeah, there's only so much time.
Time, because that's the thing. Again, when you have a schedule of videos you're trying to create, as soon as you fly for a weekend or a week or whatever, it upends everything, right?
And Essen's a bit bigger on the time crunch, just because it's
the flights there and back, and then the sort of the recovery time, right? But I think you'd enjoy it. I'd like to get you there at some point.
I want to see a castle. Well, I've seen a castle in Ontario, I guess, but I want to see
like a proper, real, olden times castle.
Yeah.
Zero Bad Ideas asks a question, how long have you two known each other? I think we figured this out one time before on the stream, but it's been...
Well, how long has the show been going
8 years.
for?
And it was sometime...
I like that you answered before I finished, because you knew it was...
It was sometime after that.
It was, it's been like 7 years or something. It was like a year.
Let's just say 6 or 7
started.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, listen, I can see there's even more questions coming, and we have more questions here. Let's take a little break, take a look at a game.
Sure.
And then we'll jump back into your questions. All right? Great questions, everyone. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to the table. And this is a game called Push. And I believe it's not widely available yet, but should be available this month. Last I heard it would be available this month. And this is a game I wanted to show you because I received a copy of it at BGGCon. I think you did.
I did as well.
Too as well, yeah. And when I saw this game, what game did you think of when you saw it?
Uno?
Yeah.
Dos?
If I took away the dice, kind of has a little bit of the color scheme, kind of reminds me of Uno. If you look at the cards themselves, a little bit of that feel. But I took it to my in-laws, and I had learned how to play the game, taught it to them, and we played it a bunch there. So it's very easy to teach, so I'll do my best to give you a quick teach here as we play Pep, and all of you as well. Do my best. The object of the game is to have the most points at the end of the game. The game ends once you've gone through the entire deck. So we might not do that here in this video, but we'll give you a good sample of how the game works. So the first player, and we'll say it's me, okay? We'll take the first card off the top of the deck and reveal it. And then you decide which one of 3 columns you're going to place it in. So just imagine there's 3 slots here for cards to go in. So I'll put this one in the first. Then I can choose to stop, or I can go again. I'm going to go again.
I assume.
Now this one, again, I can put in any one of the 3 columns. So I'm going to put it in this one. Flip another one. Now, again, I can put this in any one of the 3 columns, except I can't exactly do that because you can never have the same color in a single column.
Or the same number, right?
Or the same number, exactly. So I'd have to put this in one of the other 2 columns. So I'll put it here. I'll flip again. Ooh, okay. So I have to put it over here. I have to. Now.
Right.
I'm
So what happens if you draw red right now?
Well, let's see what happens. Okay, I didn't. But I have a 5. I cannot put that 5 here because you can't have the same number, right? So I might put it somewhere else. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it here.
Is there a maximum length through column?
No, you can keep going. Although, well, in a way, there sort of is because there are 5 colors,
numbers.
I believe.
And 5 numbers?
Good question. I don't know if it's 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. It might be 1 to 5.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So I could go again. And will I? I will. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So I'm going to put this one here. All right. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to stop. All right?
Okay.
So Pep asked a question, what if I kept drawing and I drew another red? Well, then I would bust. And busting is bad. Okay? And we'll go over the rules of busting if it happens, but we'll just stop here. So if I stop and I haven't busted, I pick any one of these 3 columns to keep for myself. So I'm going to keep this.
Right.
And at the end of the game, you're going to get points equal to the values on the cards that you have. So this is an excellent collection of cards compared to the other 2, although we don't know what that does yet, and you will see in a moment. So I'm just going to put my cards over here. What they say is you should display them so that you can always see how many you have of each color and what their values are. So I would offset more red if I collect them over here. This is called your bench over here. So I've benched these. Now you get to pick. Now, I should probably tell you what this is so you can make a choice here. Obviously, the 5 is better than the 2. But this means if you take this stack, after you add any cards in that column to your bench, you then have to roll this die. If you get a star, nothing happens. That's like the best result.
Okay.
If you get any other values, it's all the different colors, then you have to lose or discard all of the cards of that color that you have in your bench. So when you take this, as long as you don't roll the red, then you're
good.
fine.
Yeah. And do I have to take this?
You must take at least 1 column.
Okay, I will take this one.
All right.
And this one will probably be fine.
And probably stay there. We'll see. So then you roll up. Okay, a little good luck there. And unfortunately, I'm sorry. That has to be discarded. And so is this. This is discarded as well. So these both go into the discard pile, and then this one also gets discarded. So if we had 3 players, okay, the third person would also take a stack. If we had 4 players, then 3 people would get stacks. The 4th one wouldn't.
Oh.
Okay. So now it would go to Pep's turn. So Pep, if you'd like to reveal the next one. Red again. I'll pull this die out of your way. Now here's a new result. So in a 2-player game, this would get ignored. Okay? But what this means is, once the round has ended, you've either busted or you've chosen to stop.
Yep.
Then after you take your stack, if you didn't bust, then you reverse the order in which people collect the other stacks from.
Now, reversing order doesn't matter because there's only 2 of them.
That's right. So this will just go away. This does not, I should mention, does not change the turn order. So after your turn's over, it would still become my turn, even if it reversed the collection order. No,
2 of these
they cannot. They cannot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, good question.
Ding. Oh, well, that answers that question. It definitely does go to 6.
Yes, it does go to 6. Looks to me like Pep's making a little pile for himself over here.
What? So now if a yellow were to come up, I would bust.
This is interesting. Because now, okay, now if multiples of these come up, you leave them out, and they would keep reversing each other until the very end, right?
Okay.
And you've busted.
And I busted.
Okay, so this one gets discarded, and then Pep doesn't get to pick one of these. I still get to pick one.
Tee-hee.
I'm gonna pick.
They all got the dice roll.
They do. I'm gonna take this pile here. So I'll take the 4. I'll take the 6, and then I'll roll a die. The odds are good that I'm gonna lose something here. Oh, I lost red.
Yes.
And this gets discarded. Now, Pep, you don't get anything, but it gets even worse. If you bust, you also have to roll the die. Now, in this case, it doesn't get much worse because it's a big empty space over here. But
I'll do it anyway.
You'd roll the die, and you would lose all your blue. So busting is bad. All right, so it comes back to me. I'm going to go. Let's see. I can do better than that. I like that. Maybe this is going to be my pile over here. All right, we'll just throw that out. Woo! This is a good pile. Oh, I better not bust. I'd like to get one more of these. Just to... Well, unfortunately, what I just did... Oh, put it over here. I'm going to stop here, all right? Because I like this. I'm going to take these, and over to you. What would you like?
I guess let's take this and
all
hope
right.
for the best.
Hope for the best.
Let's just roll this ahead of time.
Let's see what happens. You're safe. Okay,
I don't lose
these
the
get
blue,
discarded.
so.
That goes away there, and then it's over to Pep. Now, there is one other rule we haven't gotten to. One of the options you can do on your turn is to basically skip your turn in order to bank cards. You pick any one of the colors on your bench, you take all those colors, you flip them over, and just put them in a little bank pile. Those can no longer be affected. Now, at the end of the game, you'll score points for the values on all of your cards in your bank and also here on your bench. Those are still worth points. These are just at risk, whereas your banked cards are not.
I started going while you were talking.
That's fine. No, that's good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't get another yellow. Oh, we can't do that, because that's 2 6s in that
Oh, yes,
column.
thank you.
But now that column's looking pretty good, the middle one. It's getting risky, Pep. It's getting risky. Yeah, 1 column left. are you gonna do?
One more.
Try another one? One more? Oh no. Oh, and you didn't bust. Very
No.
nice, very nice. I would take this, but no, I won't. That's crazy. I wouldn't take that. It's got too much danger in there. So
Are you gonna take a turn to bank green?
No, I'm gonna push my luck for one more.
Oh.
Because the only problem with banking like that is I'm sort of giving up a turn in a way, right? To get
Yeah.
more stuff. But it could be worth it. It could definitely be worth it. Oh. Oh no. This is not looking good.
So if a green comes out, you're done.
I'm in trouble. I won't get another green. Oh, darn it. Okay, so I busted. You get to... Oh, this is really bad.
Wow.
I should have banked.
So I get this,
These go away.
and
I have to roll the die.
you're gonna roll green.
Oh, no. Oh, purple. Okay, I lose a 6, though. That's not so
Still-
good.
Still a challenge.
All
So
right.
if the game were to end and I haven't banked these, I still get these
Those
points.
are still
right?
all your points. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So we'll just do a couple more turns, because I think people are getting the idea here.
We could even just come back.
That's
to
true.
It.
We come back to it a little later, take a few more questions, and come back. It's a good idea.
Should just remove those.
I could have. I just wanted to show them in action in case they...
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Stacking up. Oh. That's a good pile there.
That's a good pile.
That's a good pile. Leave me something good. Good. Draw a couple more, just to give me some better stacks. Did you just bust
I
yourself?
just busted.
Oh, you did on 6s too. Well, I'll take this one.
And I lose my one red.
Oh, that's not a big deal. You can survive that.
I can survive.
These go away. All right. One more. One more.
We'll need 2 more technically because you went first.
Okay, good idea. We'll do that. I'll put that here. No, I'll split those up. That goes away.
Your turn. Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's what I like to see. Oh, that'll work too.
Just making the piles
I
better
need
for
to.
me.
I need to. I know that's the only thing. I need to slow down here. Okay, I think I'm just gonna stop. It's getting a little bit too ridiculous. I'll take this one here. Over to you. What would you like?
I guess this one.
All right. And your turn. Would you like to bank?
No.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
None of us are banking.
That's the thing too. Once someone does bank, then everyone else goes, "Well, okay, I can afford to take a turn to bank then if you just have."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is nice. This is what you want to see. Because now, no matter what I do,
Yeah,
right,
that's right.
I end up having to roll a die, assuming that you can take a pile that doesn't have one of those roll dice
Neat.
cards in it. Oh, oh, Beth, what do you do
I'm
now?
making things rough for myself.
You
here.
are, you are. Things were just going fine, and you pushed your luck too far. You got stop.
Yeah, at this point, if a yellow comes out, I bust. If a rainbow
Purple.
comes out, I bust. If a purple comes out, I bust. Yeah,
The 6s come out, you bust.
I gotta just keep this. And I think I'm taking this one.
Yeah, okay. So
But
now,
I'm likely gonna lose some stuff here.
so a 6, a 3, and a 1. I'll take this. Well, this is effectively the same thing, but this splits up my risk a little bit, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Did you-
Oh,
you
good.
did- that's
it
good.
landed off screen just barely, but
Yep.
I got.
You're
the
safe. You're safe. I want one of those too. Now there is a variant you can play,
Oh,
and in the variant it says if you roll this,
you lose everything.
you lose everything.
Oh my god.
So it makes
Then you'd bank a little.
then
more.
you bank a little more. Exactly. All right. So let's see if I can get a black star as well. Oh yes, there we go. Maybe we're back in it. Okay. So
We definitely need to come back to this.
We will. We'll come back
Seeing
to it.
how much we have on the table.
all right, we'll come back to
Yeah.
it. But let's look at some of your questions here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a question from here. You're right. Vincent Vignola, Pep, what are your thoughts on retiring the Watch It Played polo? So, for those of you who don't know, I talked on the channel recently about possibly retiring the blue polo and wearing still not like super casual clothing, but
Yeah.
something more out of my closet. So still like a button-up shirt and stuff, but just not wearing the polo every time. And we had lots of great feedback on that, lots of really helpful feedback, and I've now done a couple of videos not wearing it. So, what are your thoughts? And we've had a variety of reactions from that. I would say, from what I'm seeing, especially now that the 2 videos are out where I'm actually wearing the clothing, the overwhelming response has been positive. But it's not going to be for everybody, of course, and that's the way it goes. What are your thoughts on this retiring of the polo? Because we also talked about it a little bit as well, right?
Yeah, I initially had reservations about it. I mean, I'm like most people. You're reserved about change in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, after seeing a couple videos, I think it's good. And yeah, there seems to be quite a bit of positive reaction to it. However, the people who have, I don't even want to call it negative reaction, because the negative reactions are basically like very well thought out.
Yeah.
Like,
there's nothing, but there hasn't been anything argumentative. Like everyone's just sort of like, here are my thoughts, here are my concerns. So people who might not be in favor of the polo being retired.
Yeah, the one I've seen a few times that that I could see leaning us one way or the other is people saying it makes them think of the Watch It Play brand, and that's one thing that it sticks in my brain a little bit. But otherwise, I don't.
Yeah, the fact that it's a brand identity thing, and there's a certain level of professionalism that comes from maybe the colored polo shirt or whatever, right? I think those are valid points of view, and certainly things that we consider too, as we talked about making those adjustments.
Can I still wear my shirt though?
Yes, you can still wear your shirt. Yes. All right. So there you go, Vincent. There's your question. You got another one there?
Marnie.
Yes.
No last name. What is the toughest game you've tried to teach, either to friends or on camera? And did you make it through, or did you give up? Have you given up on trying to teach a game? That's a good one.
Yes.
I have, for sure.
I might have a difficult time thinking of an example where I was with a group of people and gave up. I was trying to learn a game myself, and I went, no, forget it. This is ridiculous. This rulebook is so bad. I'm not even going to continue trying. I've had 2 examples of that I can think of. The first is Robinson Crusoe, first edition. And we did a video for the second edition of the reprint because the rulebook was much improved and you can actually decipher what you were supposed to do. But I got through the setup of that game and maybe into the first page of the rules. I just calmly and quietly put everything back in the box and said, well, I'm never doing that again because it was just a mess. The other one would have been Bios Genesis, Phil Eklund, which was an impossible rulebook that drove me to rage.
That rulebook isn't a rulebook, it's basically a scientific document, and he wrote it that way.
Yeah.
He wrote it basically as a scientific document, and it makes it very difficult.
To learn a game from it, yeah.
The one, it's funny, you gave me that game, I think.
I did.
And another game you gave me that I think neither of us can understand the rules of.
Which was that?
Ergo. Do you remember Ergo?
Oh gosh, yes.
So he gives me this game and he says, "Hey, could you learn this and maybe teach it to me?"
And at the time, I had not tried to learn it. It was just help me kind of catch up on the games. Can you just take this one and learn it? And we can, because I've done that before. Dinosaur Island and some other games you've kind of taught me, and then we sort of figure if it's a good one for the show or not. Yeah.
And I like to think of myself as an intelligent person. Okay?
I think you are. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I went to learn this and I just could not wrap my head around it. The basic concept of the game is it's a bunch of if not this then thens, then you have to prove concepts. So you basically take turns playing a card. You would play A, and I would play is greater than, and you would play B, and then an equals and something, but...
So you create a formula.
Sort of. I don't know. I can't explain it fully because I've still never learned it.
What we're doing here is saying what we think it means. We have no idea.
And so I eventually passed it off to a friend of mine who was literally doing that kind of thing. He was going to school for that kind of mathematical theory. And I have yet to hear from him again about the game. He's disappeared. It didn't drive a matter in it, but he must have looked at the rulebook and done the same thing. Just been no, I don't know what's happening.
I much prefer an end to the story you've never heard from again.
I did give it to one other person.
I think I got it back in my hands at some point, or maybe I was over your house when you still had it, and I looked at it and I was like, I can't figure this out either. What is this?
Yeah.
It happens, unfortunately, sometimes. I think it happens, not always, but more often when it's a smaller company, first-time designer, and they know the rules to their game really well, and they don't understand that their rulebook does not convey the information that they already know about their game.
Well, that might not even be the problem, funny enough, because...
In this case, you mean? Or,
because of course, the internet exists.
Yeah.
So I went and I looked up how to play it, and I still don't know how to play it. I watched videos to show me how to play. Maybe this is a blind spot in our intelligence. Maybe we just aren't capable. It might just be... there might be something about how the game works that I just can't...
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it.
I don't know what the toughest game I've tried to teach is. Aquasphere is up there. No, it is one of the tougher games I think to get your head around, but I actually enjoy teaching it because once I kind of figured it out, I was like, this is difficult, but I think I know how to teach it, and I felt really kind of proud of myself, if I'm being honest. I can teach you this kind of crazy brain-burning game. I can't think of any that I walked away from other than just myself and not hoisting it on somebody else. Because very rarely do I, unless it's you and I, do I sit down and go, okay, everyone, new game, I'm just going to read out of the rule book here and let's kind of figure it out. So I normally know what I'm getting into when I'm teaching someone a game. All right, Marty has another question. How have your tastes for games changed since you started playing or since you started Watch It Play? Do you still get to play games for fun? Do you feel like your tastes have changed over the last 6 years or so of playing games and such?
Yeah, a big part of it though is before I started working with you, you are very cult of the new, and so when you would come to game nights, you would always have something new,
Right?
And you would always teach us something new, and so before that, I was very traditional. Like we would play, if we played Catan, for example, we would probably play Catan every time. Sheriff of Nottingham got a lot of plays when we first got Sheriff of Nottingham. And it slowly weaned into the idea of, playing a new game every time.
Rodney's always going to bring something new.
Yeah, and so I started doing the same thing, to the point where a couple of my friends once in a while would be like, can we play something we've played before?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay.
And an understandable reaction, honestly. Like, not everyone gets the same energy from playing a bunch of games.
It's true.
I think for me, my taste changed and I skewed more towards Euros than I ever did in my lifetime. I would always look at Euros and just go, this looks boring. I don't get where the fun is in this. I want monsters. I want things to attack and miniatures to push around in that. And I would say, if I look at my collection over here, maybe the majority of it is Euros now. Like, at least it's very close, that's for sure. So
Euros feel like, when you look at Euros from far away and you haven't played a lot of them, I think they look dry. But yeah, when you start playing them.
People playing them too often kind of look like this.
Yeah. It probably doesn't look as exciting to watch a bunch of people playing Euros. When you're in there, like, your brain's on fire.
It's very
basically.
active. Yes, exactly, right?
There's neurons firing everywhere, so you can't express because all your brain power is taken up on thinking.
Figure out what to do next. I'm sure some of you experienced that as well. All right, let's see if we have any other questions here in the chat as well. All right. So Scott Tackett would like to know, do either of us have any experience playing games from GMT, specifically from their coin series? That's interesting because that is a game where Andy and Abyss is one where I also, after trying to learn it, packed the rules quietly back into the box and set on the shelf. That was less of an issue of the rules being bad or whatever. It was just me more or less recognizing, there's 4 different rules to teach here. Who am I going to find and teach 4 different rules to really have a full experience of this game?
Right.
And to play it solo, you can also play it solo or with fewer. But I also felt like, I think I'll invest my time in something else.
Yeah.
I would still very much like to play a coin game. I think I need to find one that's maybe better at 2 or 3 players, if possible, and maybe one that has a lower barrier to entry. But just to quickly wrap this up, I have played Thunder Alley, and I've played a whole bunch of Twilight Struggle. And what other GMT games have I played? The one where you're building the community, and the girl's on the bike looking back at you, and it's a dice game. Shoot, I can't think of it. Someone in the chat is gonna mention this. They're gonna know which I'm talking about. If Joel's still here, he'll know. But I can't remember right now.
Usually when I play games, they don't have. Was it like a fold-out girl looking back at you?
No, on the cover.
Oh, on the
she's
cover.
She's like biking, and it's like about building a little community and stuff. There's people biking on the front, but she's really close and in the shot type of thing, and I can't think of the name of it right now.
We our first game of Twilight Struggle was together, wasn't it?
And Combat Commander.
Was that your first game? Was that your first Twilight Struggle game? Because it was definitely mine.
You're saying Twilight Struggle. Oh, that was my first time playing Twilight Struggle when I played with you.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the only one you've played from GMT.
I think so.
Yeah. And you played it a couple times, didn't you? Did you play it again after that or no?
I played it once with one other person, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I have that one. I've played the app a number of times as well. Jackie actually is in the chat here. I've played a few times with her.
Nice.
Okay, using the app. So, let's see what else we have here. Games off the shelf. Question, do either of you have a favorite mobile game that you're currently playing board game themed or otherwise? No.
Oh, you don't play the... That's every game. I sound like an old grandpa. You play that?
No, you and your pew-pews. What game are you thinking of?
Your people, and you get a team of 6 or whatever, and they're random cards that floof out.
No, I haven't played that in a Clash of something.
Clash Royale, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that in a good while.
Yeah, me neither.
I had to step away. I actually had a little bit of a watch it played, kind of, or a Meeple Gang or whatever. But the game was becoming a little bit too all-consuming. Someone asked me earlier, how do I manage my time? It's because I don't do those things too often, and sometimes I open the door a little bit to those things.
Yeah.
And they overwhelm me, and I just want to play all the time. So I just have to kind of keep it bare because I don't have good self-control in that area. So.
Yeah, I've had a few times like that with the same kind of... I'd play a game, and eventually someone would say something like, you play that game a lot, I think you're addicted to it. Yeah. And so I'd open the game, I'd show them, I'd click delete account and be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm good now?
Yeah.
It's like, and then you'd reinstall it right away.
No, because it's to the point where I feel like when you're doing something to the point where other people notice and they're picking up on it, that's where I'm like, oh yeah, I do play this a lot. And then very quickly in my head I decide, is it worth it, the thing I'm doing? There's 2 games I play right now. like very much so, and that's Star Trek Timelines,
Right.
which is I just like Star Trek,
Yep.
so it's fun, just do little missions and stuff. And the other one is Pokemon Go,
Right.
which is for health, and I don't even like Pokemon all that much.
But it gets you out there walking around.
Yeah,
a bunch.
like I played Pokemon a little when I was younger,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm mostly doing it for the exercise and the collecting aspect. Yeah,
Yeah, collecting stuff's fun. I get that.
yeah.
All right, so coming down here, Jamie Fink would like to know: are you planning on going to Gen Con this year? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's the
I
plan.
have. Thank you for that reminder. Because I have to remember about the hotel thing. Last year I didn't go because I basically forgot about the hotel reservation thing until the day after.
You can't do that. It's it's so critical to get on that hotel list.
Yeah.
All right. So James Kiang would like to know what game took you the longest to figure out how to play.
It was kind of touched on
A little bit. The longest. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna stick with Ergo for me because I still
haven't figured it out,
Yeah.
right? I'm just looking at my shelf, trying to figure it out. I think Combat Commander, honestly, took me quite a while. Again, I just struggle a little bit with that war game format. I know it's so good when you're using it as a reference after you've learned it, but I find learning from a war game rules layout, I don't care for it. I don't like it. And so it just draws out the experience of learning the game for me.
Theoretically off topic, but on
Yes.
the opposite scale of learning things more easily, I very recently played Axis and Allies and Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about that was the first page, when you flip it open, it says, have you played the most recent version of Axis and Allies?
Right.
Here's everything you need to know to play Zombies.
Like,
One
here's
page.
all you need?
All you need.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
like I actually read through the rest of the rulebook. Not
Just
the
to
rest
see?
of it, just
Yeah.
to like skim to make sure. And no, they were right. What was on the first page taught me everything how to
That's
play.
smart. Yeah.
And the rulebook for Axis and Allies, I don't know if you've checked it out before, but it's like 22, 23
pretty big,
pages.
right?
It's
Yeah.
a lot of rules. So to be able to say, here's one page that, and it described it well. It wasn't like jotted notes. So yeah, and we played, and it's
seems like
a
a smart-
very different game.
I don't know that all publishers would think to do that. And That seems
Yeah.
like a smart strategy. Like, obviously you've got a very popular game. It's sort of like if Catan comes out with some kind of Catan variant style game, it would make sense to just say, here's what's different.
Well, you know what that reminds me of? Pandemic Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I went to learn Pandemic Legacy, and this might have been my own fault, but I looked at it. I looked at it.
I know where you're going here.
And was like, okay, this is
looks like
what
Pandemic.
it's saying is new. Like I read
Yeah.
like the first little bit. It's like this is what's new. Okay, but that's not true. You actually have to read the whole rule book.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rules hidden in
But
there.
that would have been a good situation where
Yeah.
they just said,
Have you
okay.
played Pandemic?
And most people who buy Pandemic Legacy, I would
Hopefully.
argue, are probably doing it because they've played Pandemic and they're looking for the Legacy experience.
Yeah.
So if they had just broken out a little one page to say, hey, these are key things that your brain is going to think work one way because you've played it this other way for years and years and years,
Yeah.
but they don't in this game. It actually works this other way. I
Admittedly, the rules aren't very long for that one,
No.
so it's my own fault for not reading like 2 or 3 pages of rules.
But on some level, it's almost excusable,
Yeah.
just because even if you had read them, I know people who did read them,
yeah.
but their brain just has a blind spot for those little small changes because it's like, oh, this all sounds familiar. you
Well,
know?
yeah, because that's the thing too. When you're reading it, it's like, yes, that's how to play Pandemic. Yes, that's how to play Pandemic.
Yeah.
Like you're reading it as if you haven't played Pandemic before, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just play it. It's the
Right,
same.
yeah.
And it's like, no, I missed 4 things.
That's right, exactly. So I think that's a great question. Great question and good example there. Okay, so then we got a question from Nurse Play who's wondering if you could visit any place on Earth, where would you go?
The moon. Oh darn!
on Earth. On Earth.
I messed it up.
See, you gotta read carefully. I would say Australia. And I haven't given this a lot of thought. I'm just answering that quickly because that's a place that I don't know. It just comes to mind as something I'd like to go visit Australia. And it's far enough away. The odds of it are slim, slim-ish. But I would like to visit Australia at some point.
I want to go spelunking
Okay,
because
that's
I know it's not a place, but the
there are
thing
places.
is,
That's good though. That's a reason to want to go to a place. So that's good.
the
Yeah.
place somewhere that has really cool cave systems, maybe with some water mixed in. Because the thing is I play so much Dungeons and Dragons. I'm exploring caves and
Minecraft.
things, and Minecraft too.
Yeah.
And I've never been in what I would call a cave.
Proper cave system.
I think I was in a mine shaft at one point in school. They took us like down into a mine shaft, but I didn't get to explore or anything.
Is that safe?
Well,
Some of you made it back.
Some of us
It's probably
made it
fine.
back.
It's probably fine.
Some of us got the black lung.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you want to go to a cave, and I'd like to go to Australia. Perfect.
There's probably caves in Australia. We'll
Probably.
do it
We'll do
together.
it together. There you go. All right, so Pad 92011 would like to know, do we have any thoughts on the Deluxe Suburbia Edition? I haven't seen it, so
I'm
no.
excited.
Have you seen it?
I've only seen that it exists, but I really
think I
like
saw like
Suburbia.
the game trays, some kind of stacking thing. But maybe that's not even part of the same thing. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I just yeah, because I don't like buying games very often unless I'm very, very sold on the game.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
on top of that, like I remember Lords of Waterdeep. Eventually, someone just bought it for me as a Christmas present or something. But when I saw Lords of Waterdeep, I thought I really like this game, but this box lid infuriates me so much.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
I remember like telling you like, this box is great. How can you not like this?
It looks beautiful.
The insert sole is molded, but you know, after having it for a little while, like, all right, Pep, you're right. This is junk.
Because so I wanted a deluxe
It's a beautiful
Lords of Waterdeep
presentation.
Oh yeah.
But the box lid, if you haven't seen it, only covers like the top part of the
Yeah, it doesn't
lid,
close
all the way down, and that thing just wants to pop off all over the place.
They could have mimicked what they were doing
visually,
with visuals instead of with physical. But yeah, I want a deluxe version of that. So Suburbia is kind of the same thing. I don't remember. I think I have someone else's copy. I don't know how I have a copy of Suburbia.
You might have my copy.
I might have your copy.
You might have got. I think you might.
But yeah, knowing that there's a deluxe one, I might keep an eye on that.
There you
yeah.
go. Might be a Kickstarter or something. John Kirala writes, is Teotihuacan on the docket for a Watch It Played segment? Well, I can tell you this. We don't pre-announce what games we're going to feature on the channel.
Right, yes.
This is probably my most common question. Rodney, are you going to feature X on Watch It Played? And I can't tell you because things change, and I have in the past told people what we were going to do next, and then it changes, and then I sometimes get a bombardment of questions going, how come you haven't done that game you said you were going to do? How come you haven't done that game you said you were going to do?
Star Wars Rebellion.
Star Wars Rebellion. I never said I was going to do that one. Marty said I was going to do that one. Darn you, Marty. And Joel did, and a few others along the way. But it was Forbidden Stars. Forbidden Stars, at one point in time, I said I was going to do it. And Memoir 44.
And Seasons.
And Seasons. I did eventually do Seasons. And I don't like to disappoint. I really don't. It really does come down to that. I don't want to disappoint people. And I also want to kind of like stave off more emails than I can handle. That's the other way I sort of manage my time. I do get a certain number of questions from people who want to know specific answers to specific questions.
Yeah.
And my time is limited, and there's many, many of you. So if someone's asking for advice on a particular game to buy, or am I going to cover this or that game, I sort of just have to say, sorry, I can't help you with that.
Well, plus an important thing I think people might not fully realize is just because we're sent a game, and just because we're interested in doing a video for a game, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get a video done.
No, that's right.
Because let's say we got Teotihuacan, and we put it on the table, and we learned it, and we thought, this is really simple. I don't think we need a tutorial for this. Or maybe this is way too complex. Yeah. I don't think we can do a tutorial. Like there might be some reason we don't do it. So even if we plan on doing one, we still might not do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be like, we get Teotihuacan in, but we just finished doing 4 heavy-ish Euros in a row. Okay, are we going to do another one? No, I think we need to play like Push or something. We need to do something different on the channel in between this just for our own sake. And sometimes that pushes out. I had someone actually say in the comments recently, well, Rodney, I understand that if you don't do a game, if you don't do a tutorial for a game, then it just means you don't like it. And they didn't mean that in a malicious way. They're like, that's just what I interpret it to mean. And I'm like, wow, no, don't think that, because like I can only do about 45 games a year, and I like way more than 45 games that come out in a year generally. Sometimes we just can't get to everything we'd like to. And Teotihuacan, I know you're perhaps a bit of a fan of the game, and I haven't played it yet. Yeah. And if we don't do it, it's not because we don't like it or don't have an interest in it. It's just time. Time is the enemy. And other things can sometimes be the enemy too.
Also, kudos, you figured out the color thing.
Oh yeah, there was like a highlight there.
There's a highlight on Watch and Play.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know how that works.
Okay, I don't either. All right, so let's see. We got another question here from Matthew Lund. What is your current favorite board game of all time? Well, Matthew, I have talked on the channel that I might dip a toe into recommending or talking about games that I do enjoy, but I'm not ready to get into that here. So I typically never talk about games like, what's my favorite game of all time? And try to declare that. Do you have one that you'd want to say? Are you spelling it right now? Okay, so Pep has just spelled it, so just go back, play that, see if you can figure out what it is.
I spelled his favorite. Mine's Lords of Waterdeep.
Okay.
It's basically the only 2 games we'll ever talk about.
I suppose it's true. I'm playing a lot of Keyforge right now. Is that the one you spelled?
No. I spelled the other K.
Yeah. Okay. So Jackie asks here, what is your favorite game, board game or otherwise, to play with Elvis? Oh, Jackie.
Well, contrary to
Elvis-
popular
Elvis-
belief, Elvis is dead. Because even if Elvis had survived whenever
Yes.
we thought he would be dead, he would be something like 100 and... I don't remember. But he's probably dead now. He wasn't a very healthy person.
True, but he had a lot of wealth and money. Maybe there's ways he could have, like,
Maybe he's
sustained
frozen.
his life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's not rule it out. But Elvis is the name of our cat. And
that's what they meant.
my favorite game to play with Elvis is to keep him away from the games. Generally, that's what I try to do. Keep away, stay away. We set up a game on the table. He gets very curious and wants to get his paws into everything, and it can be somewhat disruptive. So yeah.
Yeah, my favorite game to play with him is Survive. Because I don't know, for some reason he's very calm and gentle with everyone else. But every time he sees me, he maliciously attacks me. Like he'll jump up and like bite my hand.
And you're nothing but nice to him.
I'm so nice.
You're nothing
to
but
him.
nice to him.
Animals normally love me.
You don't roughhouse with him at all or anything.
I don't think he's angry. I think he's just trying to roughhouse. Like for some reason he sees me as the one person it's okay to fight with.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Know.
And I apologize.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, so David Thurling would like to know, do we ever miss just playing board games for fun? It must be hard to just play your favorite game for a while when you're under so much pressure to keep learning new games.
We do get to play for fun anyway,
Yeah, we
occasionally.
do. Yeah.
There is definitely a little bit of a strain where, like if I come over here to play a game, for example, I kind of know I'm coming over to play a game for work.
Yeah,
Like there's occasional times where we'll come over
But
and
it's
play
rare.
games, but it's rare, yeah.
Very rare, yeah.
And the thing is, though, I don't dislike that because it just means you're approaching the game in a different way, because you're approaching it in a way of how do I learn this? How can we like get this to other people?
What are the issues? What are the questions? There's a lot of like. So it's almost like a forensics exercise in forensics, really, like around the rules and stuff.
Yeah, which almost for me makes it less boring. I feel like if I just played games all the time, eventually I'd want to switch over to playing video games or doing something a little different to mix it up. But because I bounce between playing for fun and playing to learn, I don't know. I feel like it gives it a nice balance.
Ebb and flow.
Yeah.
I definitely don't play as many games as I used to. It's certainly not my old favorites, I guess you'd say. But I don't regret that. I think I've said this before. Like this. I chose this. This is what I want to do.
This is my life.
This is my life, and I chose it. I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I'm okay with it. If I was complaining about it, then I wouldn't be very grateful for, the situation I find myself in. Right. So, no, I'm okay with it, and I live with a family, and so we will often pull out games that we enjoy playing as a family from time to time. We played Time's Up the other day as a family. It was really fun. Andrew was joining me for a live stream of Mansions of Madness, and that's a game that I don't get to play as often as I might like to, but we got to do it on a Twitch stream together, and that was fun. So and I enjoy learning new games. So it's fulfilling to do that, even if it's doing it for work, if you will.
I have to know in Time's Up, who are the teams? Was it parents versus kids? Or?
Oh yeah, it was. When we just played, was it parents versus kids? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Sometimes we do boy girls, sometimes we do parents versus kids. We mix it up. So. Michael, yes, we'll do another one. Michael Vinoy.
Michael Vinoy?
Michael Vinoy. Okay, it's Michael, you've appeared twice. You only get one question now. James from the Cedar Cabal mentioned a couple times during his top 50 that he house ruled a couple games. Do you have any games that you house rule? I can only think of one off the top of my head.
Strike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any that you house rule?
Honestly, I can't think of any. No, the closest thing is certain games like Time's Up or Codenames or things where the rules might be a little loose anyway. We'll house rule whether or
sometimes
not
what kind of clues are allowed.
Yeah, like sometimes when you sit down to play like the picture version, for example, maybe now it's okay to say names because there's no words involved. Like things like that, but nothing major. I usually stray away from house rules.
Yeah, I do as well. I'd rather just go play a different game that has rules I don't dislike. You know what I mean? Like in my house ruling, usually it's because I don't like something. And Strike, I'll just quickly mention, Strike is a game where you're throwing gladiators into an arena or dice into an arena, and the rules say that between tosses, if you'd like, you can reach your hand in there and manipulate the dice and move them around and do whatever. And I prefer to play Strike as kind of a fast game. and if every time I threw a die in, I was going to stop and reposition the dice, and then throw it again and stop and reposition the dice, it would take a lot of the fun out of the game for me. So I don't even teach it with that rule. I will sometimes say, by the way, after people have played and I get a sense that they've enjoyed it, I'll tell them about the rule. Like,
treat it as an optional
like,
rule.
hey, there's this. The actual rules say you can do this. Just so you know. And every time I do that, people go, "What? Why would I ever do that?" I go, "Exactly." No. Of course, some people probably like doing it that way, but I haven't encountered very many people who do. So.
Yeah, actually, I can think of one kind of thing. I don't remember the exact game. I think it was Massive Darkness.
Yes.
But sometimes people will do something in a game, and it will seem overpowered or broken, as people will say.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't care about that stuff, because usually when people think things are broken, they're quote-unquote wrong.
Right. Yeah, they're having a first reaction.
They're just having a first reaction.
Yeah.
But what I basically say in those situations is, if you think it's too powerful, don't use it. So the closest thing to house rule is just we avoid using things that people think are too good. And it's like, if you think it's too good, then just don't use it.
Right.
Like, I don't think it is too good, but if you care enough, stop doing it.
Okay. There's our fix.
Yeah, there's our fix. Just don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Do you want to do Michael?
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, sure. Well, I was okay, Michael. All right, Michael, you get another.
You
question.
get 2 in a row,
All right,
Michael. Michael Vinoy wants to know, if there was a Watch It Played movie, who would play each of you?
Oh, Michael. First of all, sorry that this movie, if it ever existed, I apologize. Well,
would it be a documentary?
Obviously, they couldn't afford either of us.
That's true.
So they would have to default to some other actor. I would. I have been. Some people think I look like Ben Affleck on occasion.
Okay, yeah.
But I would pick John Hamm. I'd want John Hamm to play me.
Oh, John Hamm would be fun. Yeah.
I like John Hamm.
For me, there was 2 that I used to get that looked like. One was Orlando Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
And the other was...
Especially when you had long hair.
Especially when I had long hair, yeah. And the other was Elijah Wood. And so, funny enough, both from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Or The Hobbit.
Lord
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Sorry to anyone that actually liked Lord of the Rings and not The
But
Hobbit.
you mixed that up, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Shameful.
so those would be my 2. So I think... Yeah, probably not Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, we can get him. We'll take him.
He can be Luke.
He can go. He can be Luke.
He can be Luke.
Yeah. So we got another page still of these, and we're already at. Well, we only have 20 minutes left. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a couple more minutes of Push. All right, just a couple more minutes of it, and then we'll come back to some more questions. All right.
Let's play Push Speed Round.
Speed round Push. Okay, here we go.
Boom.
I guess it's me, right?
Yep.
5. Oh boy. All right, let's do that. Oh, come on. Get out of here.
Roll that die.
I'm rolling this die, stupid game. All right, there we go. And over to you.
Oh, no, I still get a
You get to
thing.
pick one. Yeah, you get to pick one. The 5s were split up. I don't remember. So yeah,
those
fine.
2 are together.
It's fine.
I think.
Whatever.
I'm just gonna skip my turn and bank stuff because.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we don't have to.
You don't have to.
Right, and if I do it, no, I'm not going to. 'Cause I feel like if I do it, you'll do it.
That's right.
Oh.
Oh wow.
So question.
You could stop.
Yeah. And I could just take it.
Oh yeah, you sure could. I mean, you may as well. I mean, unless if you drew the die card, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. It's over to me. Here we go. Oh, come on. I'll put it there. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. This is getting rough. Come on, give me one. Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Oh, only one place that I can go.
Come on. Oh, shoot. Do I dare? I'm doing one more. Just one more. No! 2s. There's 2s in every column. I busted again. I gotta roll another die. And it's a yellow. Oh, that hurt.
No, that really hurt. I'm
really
taking
hurt.
these 2 because blue and purple. The problem is I have to roll a die now. If I gotta get one, I hope I get red.
Green.
That's the
so
one
bad.
I was about to bank. That's funny.
All right. So that goes
This
away.
pile's getting a little messy.
That's fine. Playing fast and loose now. This is speed round. This is by the same development team, I believe, that did. What's the Disney game? Villainous. Villainous that came out. And
Really?
Also the House of Danger Choose Your Own Adventure game.
That's a bust.
The cereal game that came out recently.
Monster Crunch.
Monster Crunch. I think they've got a...
Well, you're not picking that
Look,
one.
I'm sorry, this is kind of review-ish, but I think they've done a lot of interesting designs and that are quick and easy to teach, fast to play. You can pretty much bring anyone into it and
I
learn.
like when a company puts out a bunch of different games that are different games.
Yeah.
Like this, I wouldn't think of anything like Monster Crunch
Or Villainous.
Or Villainous.
Yeah.
Like it just means that they have people on their team and they have like a design idea where they want to make different things. Oh, you're keeping that.
I'm stopping there. Yeah.
I guess I'm taking this and just hoping for the best on this roll.
Roll. Come on. Oh, come on, Red. No way. Oh, no. I don't think I can do it now. I think you've got this.
We'll see.
I need you to bust one more color.
Ooh.
Does he dare? Oh, you're safe. Look at that. Look at that beauty. So I have to take this one and rolling them up, and I lose green. Oh, gosh. I
don't think we need to
decimated.
count these.
No, we don't. So I lose, Pep wins. And that's push. Really, really, really simple, right? Really simple to play, very easy to play. And like I said, I took that to my in-laws, and we just played a bunch of games. Because, it kind of reminds me of the mind in this sense. One of the things people have said about the mind, not everyone's going to agree, of course, but some people think that the positive and negative experiences of that game, when you have a success or when you fail, are both satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, we were up, I just won. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's, even if you fail, it's kind of like, oh, we were so close. Let's go again. And I think in push, you can kind of have that same experience where like, oh my goodness, no, why did I draw one more? Why did I do that? I didn't have to do that, oh no, what's happened? Or you roll the die, and you know you're in trouble, and then you get the star, and you're like, oh, I'm saved. Oh, thank goodness. Do you know what I mean? So
unless you're playing the other version. That reminds me, someone mentioned the idea of house rules. Well, how do you feel about variants? Like when a game offers a strict variant, do you treat that as if it's a house rule-ish, or do you treat it as if it's actually a rule of the game?
I treat it like it's a rule, like it's a suggestion of like, hey, if you're bored of this, try that. And for whatever reason, that doesn't turn me off the same way that a house rule does.
Yeah.
But it is effectively a house rule in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's been examples where people have had house rules for games where the designer has basically been like, yeah,
that's a good
I would
variant.
play that way. And it's like,
sometimes they make them official variants, actually. Once they discover a lot of people are playing this way, let's just make it an official variant. And for whatever reason, again, in my brain, it makes me go, okay, it's a little more acceptable. The problem probably for me is I don't play any one game enough times that I'm tired of the base way of playing that I then need to go explore the variant. And that's a little bit of the virtue of the show and how things go there. But
I kind of feel the same way with expansions. I don't tend to want to play expansions often because I still want to play the base game.
Yes. I often would like to get to the expansion sometimes, but because I'm often teaching new people, I stick with the base game. Okay, so let's go down here. We got a question from... okay, so that's not a question. So it's a comment about Cerebria. I can't help you there. But thank you. I'm glad that you might think I might be able to help with that. All right. I played Cerebria recently at BGG Con. Yeah. All right, let's see. We got another question here. Do you spy one?
I just noticed Gil Mello said a clever thing. The Watch and Played movie's already been done. It's called Abbott and Costello.
Very nice, Gil. All right. Yes, someone had guessed what you spelled out in air.
Kemet,
yeah, very good.
Oh,
very good.
I must have spelled it well. I was worried I was doing it backwards, too. No, I guess that's right.
And no pun included suggests Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, sorted. It's done. Just get those two. Package deal. All right. And I think we've gotten to the bottom of the chat, surprisingly.
Yeah, so if we didn't answer your question, just ask it again.
Yeah, feel free
and
to.
We'll try to get it before the end of the show. And for now,
we're back to it.
We're back to this.
And I will say the stream is telling me it's bad. Like it's not coming through well. But
it's been bad the whole time.
Yeah,
probably.
I assume that report is maybe inaccurate, and that hopefully visually it's been decent for you guys.
Oh, that's a good one for you.
The first one?
Yeah.
Mike Risley, as you appear to be revisiting the past via Mansions of Madness, because we did a live stream recently on Twitch, will the mustache also be coming back? No, Mike, that mustache is never coming back.
I have to say, I've said this to you before, I love the mustache. I remember we were at, I think, BGG Con, and I guess you hadn't been shaving during BGG Con, and you had like the mustache and like the...
Well, I had everything.
You had everything, and I was like, Rodney, this looks great. Like, why aren't we like Beard Brothers on the show, you know?
The full beard thing I'm okay with, but just a mustache?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't think I can quite
Especially
pull it
in the winter. We should be like Watch It Played winter beards.
Winter style.
But that's why mine is this thick right now. It's winter. I just gotta keep warm, right?
That's true. Yeah. Just get chilly out there.
MM wants to know, are there any plans to bring back Table Talk or games taught by Pep?
Okay, well, Table Talk, we kind of had a short revival of that over on the Board Game Geek channel. So I posted a couple recently, and I plan to do more. We're still in a little bit of a thick spell of tutorial videos, so when that happens, some of those other video projects get put to the side a little bit, but that's something I would like to return to because I always enjoyed that. And I have an idea for the next one, and the first two that I did since reviving it, I had special guests on. This one I might tackle alone before I go back to having a guest on. I want to talk about hype and people's commenting on like games being overhyped and what do I think they actually mean by that, and do I think that is an accurate term to be using? It's something that weighs on my mind frequently, and I actually see it brought up all the time by gamers, and I have some strong opinions about it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd like to share them. All right. Pep, what about bringing back games taught by Pep? We have been, again, on like this game. They've sort of all been lined up, and we're
just in a pattern.
We're in a pattern right now, and once we get past it, and I've been saying this for a long time, but I have a schedule, and there's a point at which the schedule thins out a little bit.
Yeah.
Where we don't have a tutorial booked for every single week. And I'm trying to get it down to the point where we only have 3 booked in a month.
Yeah.
Because that gives us a little breathing room for gameplays and for other kind of creative ventures. I thought January, February was going to be that. There was a little carryover from 2018 into 2019. So it might not be till March or April that we get kind of that breathing room again.
Well, and the thing people might not fully grasp, too, is like, because it's funny, this question came up, because I remember I was going back and we put geek lists up on
we did. We recently put on Board Game
BDG.
Geek. Now you can see all the tutorials and gameplays we've done on Geek Lists that Pep prepared.
Yeah, and so in order to do that, I had to go and like re-look at all the videos, and in my brain I thought, I remember teaching like 5 or 6 games or something like that. It was way more than that. I think it was over a dozen games that I did or something like that.
Really? That's even more than I remember.
Yeah. So I was just really, and there was like during a very period of time, and it's funny because the thing is, I think people just assume that we're interchangeable. Like if I were to sit down and do a video, it's going to be the same process. But the thing is because of getting used to the patterns, the cameras are new, all that kind of thing. Like a lot of stuff that we've been doing, I think the biggest reason I haven't been doing tutorials is we've been very rushed. So we had to like get things done. For me to sit down and even like try to sit down and do a tutorial, it would take probably about 50% longer than having you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of that's just, again, I'm just more used to doing it.
Yeah.
And when we're in that crunch time, especially me, I go into like efficiency is all that matters.
Yeah.
I need to get this done so that we can get the next thing done so we can finally get to that point where we don't have the crunch. And that crunch is in part my fault because I will book things, right? And I go, I want to do that game. I have an enthusiasm for it, right? But that's exactly it. It's really an efficiency game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And like Pep's now helping with the camera work when I'm doing these tutorials. That's like that's reducing the time it takes to create those as well. He's editing while we're shooting. That's something we never used to do.
No.
And that means that when we're done shooting, we're almost done the edit as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to get to the publisher that much quicker. So again, in theory, we're able to get things done faster, which maybe in that vacuum I've backfilled with a few more tutorials. So we've got to like kind of push back against that a little bit. Anyway, don't feel bad for us. It's just the nature of the thing. But that might explain why there hasn't been as much of that other stuff going on.
In the vein of that kind of question, is there any other plans of stuff that we're planning in the future?
Like other types of content and that?
Yeah.
I
don't know if that's anything you want to talk about.
No, I don't think I do yet.
Okay.
Because I think that would fall into that.
I never asked.
I feel that might fall in that category of, remember that you guys said you were going to do that thing and then we didn't get to it for a few more months?
Edwin Suave, or Save,
yes,
wants to know, if you weren't doing Watch It Played as a full-time job, what would you like to be doing instead? That's a really interesting question.
Now that I have been doing Watch It Played, let's just assume I had been, for whatever reason, I had to stop. And that could happen, who knows. I would probably try to find some way to stay involved in the board game hobby. I would hopefully be able to transfer some of these skills into something else, because at this point, this is what I love, this is my passion, so I'd probably try to find some other... I know I wouldn't want to be in sales, not in a direct sales kind of capacity. I think I would enjoy being able to continue to try to teach and help people with games in that way. Maybe with a larger company that has a large catalog, but I would not want to be like the marketing guy, honestly.
I think I would. I think I'd be okay with that. What I would want to do, though, is either I would need to migrate between places, or I would want to have something where I'm not necessarily marketing for multiple, but when I go to a booth at a convention, and there's just a person there, and you just like, this is the person who's at that booth. The person that, like, if I go to Renegade Games, I'm like, okay, I expect to see this person here, and it's like, oh, it's great to see you again.
Yes.
Because you know that they're kind of like the person that works for that company. And I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being that person.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be. But the thing, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be that for one company though. Maybe
You might
that's
be a
just greedy.
little bit of a freelancer. You'll work one con with
Yeah.
that group, or one day with that group, and another day with another. That would give you a variety too.
Yeah, maybe just Demo Master Pep. I'll just be Demo Master Pep.
DM Pep.
DM Pep.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right,
god.
The DM. The game in DM. Multiple meanings there.
That's cool.
All right, let's just see if we have any other questions here. I do see a couple more. Let's just do, maybe we get one more done here. Oh, Randy Beery writes, do you defend the prequels, Star Wars prequels,
Yeah.
or would you rather not think of them unless necessary? Would would you have the same answer if I singled out just Jar Jar? Look, I wasn't a fan of the prequels. I wasn't.
You know what I love
Right.
about this though?
What?
You clarified for them at Star Wars. I would like to know, people that are watching right now, if we just started saying, how do you feel about the prequels? You'd know what we were talking about,
Right.
wouldn't you?
Most
Like,
likely.
I think when we talk
think
about
so.
the prequels,
Yeah.
they were so polarizing.
I can't think of a movie series that has had prequels as polarizing
Yeah.
as that. So yeah, yeah.
I can defend them.
Yeah.
I can
But
defend.
do you defend them? Do you like them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I could defend them. Not the first one. The first movie's just real bad. But I could defend the other two, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you think back, the major thing for me is lightsaber battles. In the original series,
Yeah.
you really can't say there were good lightsaber battles.
No,
they
yeah.
really weren't. They were good emotionally, but they weren't good
They were
technically.
good for the time.
They were good
Our
for the
modern
time.
minds, I think, you look at back and go, "Oof, this is not great."
Yeah, but for like the sheer amazingness of it, if you look at like the lightsaber battles, especially from episode 2 and 3,
So you're saying, like, action sequence wise, the
Yeah,
prequels had a lot there
yeah.
to sort of enjoy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you could just every time Hayden Christensen came on screen, if you could mute it, like
Just have
just
an
an
action.
auto
Someone
mute.
could just fight in front of them.
Oh yeah, just have like a lightsaber battle or just lightsaber. Every time he opens his mouth, like
Maybe that's what Lucas needs to go. He loves to go back into his old movies and add things. Maybe he
Yeah.
can just have Hayden Christensen just wave a lightsaber around when he's talking. I don't know. Look, it's one of those funny things. Even in this, I always feel sort of, look, if you love the prequels, that's great. Enjoy. It didn't work for me. Jar Jar wasn't my particular favorite.
You know the theory about Jar Jar being like the secret Dark Lord.
Yeah, I do.
If that were true, I think it would have been fine. And I actually do worry that
I
was
don't know
what was
that it would have
supposed to
been
be
fine.
happening.
Yeah.
I think that maybe was what was supposed to be happening, but he went too deep because there should have been a hint at it. It's like if you were to watch a movie and it had like a drunken character, and the character's always stumbling around being obnoxious, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that was an obnoxious character. And then the second movie is like, oh, secretly a drunken master, and he's doing all these crazy
think-
flips and stuff. It's like, well, why didn't you do that before?
The problem for me is that I still wouldn't have enjoyed the scenes he was in.
That's fair.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it'd be nice to know that his character had an arc beyond being, the goofy guy. But I
Yeah.
think I would still watch those scenes and go, I'm not enjoying these scenes.
Yeah, that's
But I
fair.
don't know. So let's see. Let's skip that one. Because Randy had a few questions.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Actually, had all the rest of the questions here. Randy asks, have you ever watched your own videos as a rules reminder after not playing a particular game for a while? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
2 times speed, a little quick refresher, absolutely. Or have you learned from watching other videos in a similar way? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've watched other people's videos that maybe have a game I haven't covered. I'll watch those to get a quick refresher to learn maybe, do I have these rules right from having read the rule book? All right, we are down to 5 minutes left.
All right, let's get
This is
into
speed round
let's
here,
get into
okay?
these.
Or do our best. I'll do my best. I always like giving long answers. Okay. Okay, so Firedale 2002 asks, what game did you play the longest or teach, only to find out after that your understanding of the rules was wrong and it changed gameplay drastically? I have one.
Okay, do it.
It's a smallish game. Teach-U. I've been playing Teach-U with my in-laws for ages. We love it. Every time we get together, we play Teach-U. Then I was at BGG Con just this past year, played Teach-U with the group. I'm like, oh no, that's not how that works. I'm like, yeah, it does. I'm like, are you sure? I grab the rules. I look and I go, oh gosh, he's right. Okay, fine. And then another rule came up. I'm like, really? We do that? And now I'm at back heels. I didn't come in quite as hot and heavy and saying like, oh, this is wrong, because I'm like, I know it's wrong with something already. Let me just take that rule book and take a look. Oh my goodness, I've been doing this wrong too. And it was like shocking. It was shocking. Okay, do you have any games like that, or you just play everything right?
I do, but we forgot to talk about something, and we're going to have to slow down to, I think, talk about that before we come back to that.
Go ahead. Try
So,
to slow me down. See if you can.
the one that comes to mind for me is legacy games in general. If I had to critique something about legacy games, it's that if you mess a rule up, it theoretically messes up the entire campaign.
It's really difficult.
Do
to
you
undo
remember us playing Risk Legacy.
I do.
Every game, after we finished each game, we were basically like, oops, we got that rule wrong.
Oops, double
Yeah.
oops, triple oops.
Yeah, and I remember at one point, the one guy we were playing with, I think I had won like 4 out of the 6 games, and he was like, oh, you probably wouldn't have won if we were using the real rules, and it's like, we all agreed to the wrong rules that we were playing. It is obnoxious that we got the rules wrong, and I regret that.
But we were all playing by the same understanding.
We were playing by the same understanding. But it's harsh. It's because there's more on the line. Like with Tichu, whatever. You can mentally think back.
No. There's a lot on the rule. There's a lot on the line for those games. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Legacy, there's a little more at stake. Definitely in terms of just, you can't undo it as easily.
But that reminds me of something.
We did have a little topic discussion. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll quickly do this, but we can do this pretty fast.
Yeah.
So we were going to start this whole thing off, I forgot, by having one little topic, which was New Year's resolutions. And I don't generally have a lot of New Year's resolutions around gaming, but I did have one. Mine was simply to contain my collection.
To what?
To less than 300 games,
Ooh, 300.
Not including expansions. So right now I have 291 games, not including expansions, and I'd like to keep it. I would love to get it down to 250. Why? Why, Rodney? Why do you want to get down to 250?
300's a really good number.
Why is that? Yeah.
This is board games!
Of course. So I have to get exactly 300 games is what you're saying.
Because you need to do a video where you have all the games that are past 300 and you need to kick them off of your stairs or something like that. This is board games!
It can only be 300. That's good. That's pretty good. Oh, man.
Ironically, though, there was a lot more than 300 fighting in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also had the Greek. Anyway, mine, really quickly.
I'll just quickly wrap up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why do I want to keep it 100? Why? Because,
it.
honestly, I'm as somebody who doesn't need to have 700 of something. I'm especially games, I'm never going to get to play all of them. I'd rather just have games on my shelf that I look at and go, these are all things I would love if I had the opportunity to pull them off the shelf and play them. Doesn't mean that every game that's left my collection isn't a game I've liked or appreciated in some way, but sometimes other games replace them. That just happens in time. And I also have a limited amount of space in my home. I don't want it overtaken by all the things I'd love to have. So I have to make tough choices sometimes. I think 250 is like a nice number. I'm at 291. Okay. And aren't I fortunate to have the luxury of having all those games and the choices? So yeah, that's me. Over to you. What would your resolution be?
Mine is related to Risk Legacy and Charterstone and Seafall and Pandemic Legacy
and Werewolf Legacy
and Werewolf Legacy. Thank you. That's another one. I've never finished a Legacy game.
And you started so many of them.
And I started so many of them.
That's so sad.
My resolution is going to be to just finish them.
Even if you have to do it alone.
Maybe. Well, like with Risk Legacy, 3 out of the 5 or 6 people that originally played, I think we just can't get back to play again.
No.
So I'm just going to have to pick new people and start where we were and say, like, just bear with me, let's jump into
Do this for me.
Do this for me, yeah. And Charterstone, we might have to dump one of the people. We tried playing with the full complement.
The nice thing is with Charterstone, I think they do have, like, here's how you deal with someone coming in and coming out. So
we might be able
to All right, so 2019, I'm going to try to stay below 300 games. You're going to try to complete a Legacy game.
Not all of them!
Oh no, I think with this, okay. You have your resolution for you, I'll have my resolution for you, and it's that you finish one of them.
Finish one.
Okay. All right, now, speed round. We're at time. We're going to see if we can speed round this. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Question. Is there a scenario of Mansions of Madness that you especially enjoy? That's from Ian O'Toole. Ian, this is ridiculous. I've played that first scenario so many times, and I still enjoy playing it. When I get together new people, I'm happy to teach the first scenario. It's the shortest of them, and I like the twists and turns in it. And even this past year, I know this is a speedrun, I played this with a new bunch of people, and the scenario played out differently than I'd ever seen it played out before. Yes, some things were similar, but there was things that were still different, and it just impresses me every time. The game I played last night on the Twitch stream, I would like to play again, right away. Very much so. Altered Fates. We lost. I'd like to play it again. Spoiler. Okay.
My answer is no.
Right. So, I don't even think you've played a Scenario of Mansions of Madness.
Not the new one. No.
Okay.
I played the old.
That's right. Okay. So Nicole P asks, what are good legacy games for solo players?
We just talked about that.
We did, and I think Charterstone is one that you can play solo. Is it good? I don't know. Yeah. It's up to you to decide.
Fog of Love. That'd be a great one to play by yourself.
Can you play that solo? I don't think so. Hingle Crinkleberry writes, do you guys believe there's other life in the universe? Yes, statistically. Will we ever encounter them? No, statistically.
Yes, statistically. Have we encountered them? Yes.
Oh, the Kree.
The Kree, yeah.
They've already landed. Okay. I'm really excited to see the Captain Marvel movie. And the Punisher trailer just released today, the full Punisher trailer. I'm excited for that too.
Technically, to answer their question in an actual, we actually have had other life. Meteorites from space have landed that had bacteria and stuff on them. So technically, yes, we've encountered life from other space. But I know what they meant.
Sentient life.
Yeah, they meant like aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
And I do believe that they're out there. I don't know if they've actually hit Earth yet.
Michael Vanoy would like to know, would you like to do a podcast? Is that something you could see in your future? Yes, I would like to do it. I've thought about it before. I sometimes thought, well, Table Talk could be a podcast.
It could.
Because there's nothing that has to be done visually. Even I could take the old Table Talks and potentially turn them into a segment for a bigger podcast.
Yeah.
Time is the enemy.
I don't want to do one particularly, but if anytime I'm invited on to something like a podcast, I could basically talk forever. So.
Yeah, I like to jump in as a guest when I can manage it. So Strategy Wizard asks, how do you manage your board game collection? Which is also similar to something we were talking about there a little bit. I suppose you buy games to teach and play for the channel, but what happens to all of them once you're done? Keep, donate, etc. So I generally keep. I will sell at a very low value, like $10, $5. I will give away. There's a value village place. If there's games I can't get rid of otherwise, I will do it that way.
I didn't know that. I didn't
there has been occasions where I've looked at a game and said, there's no hospital I would ever give this to, no school I would ever donate this to, because I just don't think the game is appropriate for that kind of setting, and I will never play this again, and I have no friends that have expressed interest in taking it. Garbage. Like I don't know what else to do with it.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes pilfer it for parts. But now that I know there's a place in town to donate games to, I'll take them there. And I'll donate them, and hopefully someone will find a home for it.
The thing is, like, it's just like anything. I mean, if you have old CDs or something, it gets to a point where eventually you can't keep everything. And I know some people might think of board games as sacred, but you can't keep everything. I unfortunately do. So like my board game shelves are filled, and my cupboards have board games on top of them.
I generally start with like do you want this one? Do you want to take this or whatever?
It actually wouldn't surprise me if I currently own more of your games than you do.
Well, I don't know.
Like, I know that's like a strange thing to say.
I would say you have a large number of them. You have a large number of them.
Yeah,
no
like
question.
I have at least 100 games that you've given me.
Okay. So the Lupus show, maybe? I think that's what it says. A question. With so many games coming out now, do you find it a bit overwhelming, and do you think it's good or bad for the hobby? I don't find it overwhelming because I've given up trying to keep pace with it. I don't.
That's fair.
I don't mean this to sound like dismissive, but I don't care. Like, have you played all the latest games? No, and I don't care. I'm fine.
You can't play everything.
I can't play everything, and I've got games in front of me that I want to try. It doesn't matter to me that I haven't played Teotihuacan or Underwater Cities or whatever. Like, I'm fine. I'll get to it if I get to it. If I don't, I don't. I think I'm kind of zen-like about that.
Yeah, our location makes a big difference, I think. If we had somewhere where we could just instantly go and find new games and people with new games and play them all the time, it would be different. But we are in a bit of a smaller location, less people who play games, so yeah. I just want to call out Strategy Wizard.
Yeah.
That's an awesome name.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
He's the Wizard of Strategies.
That's really cool.
But I don't think it's bad for the hobby that there's lots of games. Do I think it's bad for the hobby if some of those games are what I would consider bad games? Yes and no. The part that's beneficial about it is, look, sometimes designers have to make bad games, discover their bad games, so they can start making good games.
Yeah.
Well,
plus the thing is, you get so far into production, once you get so far, it may be a game that isn't as good as you thought it was, but you're still making it. I assume they have to keep making it.
Sometimes financially you have to, because you've invested a certain amount. But
I assume you're not going to read this one, so I'll read it. Gaz Gibbons wants to know if I got ripped. It's actually quite the opposite. I just got thicker. So
you're filling out that shirt a little more?
Yeah. So it might look like I'm ripped, but I guarantee you I'm not.
That's not quite the case. All right. So Gaz Gibbons says, I played Cryptid tonight. Any thoughts? I played Cryptid at BGG-Con. And you've played it, I think, with...
A couple of times, yeah. If you played the Advanced. You've only done Basic. Oh.
Why? Because I could not figure it out. I mean, not rules-wise, I could figure out the rules. I was so bad at that game. And I played it like 4 times in a row. And was maybe marginally better by the 4th game, but not much, or the 6th game. My last game, here at the house at home, did go better. I was playing with all new people. So maybe just because, by comparison, I was doing better. My thoughts on it? It's in my collection.
Yeah, the few games I've played of it, usually whenever someone won, multiple people at the table were ready to win on that turn. Yeah. So, like, no one was savanting it and just being like, yes, you're definitely here, I know 100%. It was always, like, by the time someone got it, everyone was like, well, I already knew everyone's clues except for that one person.
Right,
so.
you were get in within range, right? It's now.
I haven't got to do the advanced version yet.
You haven't either.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because every time we play it, it's the same thing. Like I think I've got to grasp it enough to do it, but everyone else is always like, I don't know, that was really hard.
It does twist up your brain. Very clever though, the way it was put together, that game.
Yeah.
Horst der 2 writes, "Can you say Toffifee in German?" I think I just did. Toffifee is how I say it. And I believe the feedback I got on my vlog is that is the way Germans say it. Although Americans say Toffifee, and some Canadians say Toffifee. So there you go. All right.
Toffifee.
That's how Pep says it. Gil would like to know who's better at rock, paper, scissors, or Rick, paper, scissors is what he wrote. Rick, paper, scissors, between the two of you. Rick, paper, scissors.
See, I don't know, I think Rodney might remember this, but I'm going to always lose, usually, because I always pick scissors.
He does.
Yeah.
All right.
So Rodney's better.
So let's see here. Mike would like to know who won Blitz Bowl. No, you didn't. Eduardo did. And we're getting to the end here. We're almost caught up. We can end this. Will we be seeing more of Andrea and Luke? Alexandra Lee would like to ask. I get this question frequently. That's why I should definitely do my updated frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Because the answer to this is really simple. No, you won't see much of Andrea because she doesn't live at home anymore. So it's impossible. And Luke does live at home. But unlike when Luke was very young, he's older now. And his time is a little more precious, frankly.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the gameplays take quite a bit longer than the recording time.
Yeah.
That you would show. When we were doing the more polished ones, we do a Twitch stream. Gameplay's a little different.
Yeah.
It takes the time that we're recording.
Yeah, and I know he's, I brought this up with you before, but I know he has often done the managing the Twitch. But yeah, maybe at one point we could try swapping. I could manage the Twitch and you
could play a game or something. Yeah. Or vice versa. Yeah.
Because doing it this way, that way it only takes an hour, so it's not as much of a time commitment. And he's going to be here anyway, right? So,
yeah, and in that regard, yeah, you might see more of Luke that way.
Yeah.
What I would say here is it's a job. We like to keep it fun. Hopefully it's fun for you to join us and stuff, but it's a job, and I'm not trying to make my son do a job. I don't want the hobby to be a job for him. Do you know what I mean? It's fine that I chose that, but he doesn't.
I'm just getting now that Rick, Paper, Scissors might be a Rick and Morty reference, and I've watched the entire show.
I think it might have been a typo. But you could be right. Your answer's more fun. Let's see. I think we did it. We did it. We got to the end. And we're only 8 minutes over.
Kabuki Kid, hashtag Rick sucks. Well, that's why. But Rick won.
Rick did win.
I think technically Scissors should beat Rick because Rick is a person. I know that.
Because you could.
Yeah.
That's a bit dark.
That gives Scissors. Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
We just got real dark at the end of this.
Real dark.
Okay. Well, all right. Listen, everyone.
Oh, I see a question.
What? Someone snuck it.
Persole wants to know, you upgraded your main camera the last 3 years. What camera model do you use now?
So the one facing us here is a Lumix GH5, and the one there is a Lumix GH4. And before that, we had a 70D.
70D,
or was it an 80D? I can't remember. 70D? I think it was a 70D.
We might have had both at one point.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I definitely remember 70D. 70D.
So there you go. There's a little text. Okay, I'm not looking. The comments are gone.
They're gone, so
can't see them now. So we have to end it right here because we don't want this to go too long.
This bread wants to know.
What in the heck did you think trying to put me in this obviously not a bread box?
Actually, someone asked early on whether it was white. It is 100% whole wheat bread.
Yeah. 100% wheat.
100%.
Okay, and on that note, we're going to end this. Everyone, it's been a little while since we've had a live Q&A. The last one was in August, believe it or not. So thank you for joining us in 2019 for our first live Q&A. Hopefully we'll have more of these on the way.
We answered some questions during the gameplays too, but this is the first time we just sat down and basically answered questions.
Yeah, right, because when we do the Twitch stream, sometimes we'll do little breakaways for that as well. What'd you catch?
That was just a piece of dust. I really shouldn't have grabbed it.
Okay, well then, on that note, until the next episode, thanks for watching. And...